It's not too late at night. I wanted to jump on here and make this video real quick because there has been well, first of all, it's Mercury retrograde season. Currently right now, let me get my water. There are 6 planets in retrograde, and a lot of things are coming to the surface for a lot of people. And this is why I think that for so many reasons, social media is very beneficial. You know, people love to talk about, the negative aspects of social media, and a lot of the negativity from social media can come from people who are, I think, underage and don't know any better. And I think the only reason why there's a lot of negativity with social media in that way is if it's some kind of, set up operation by, the higher ups and people who are trying to push for negativity and brainwashing and comparison. There is a dark side of social media, but tonight I was briefly on Twitter, and one of my followers that I follow back was posting something, was posting a tweet about this young lady who took in a guy who was living in a motel, didn't have a car. Obviously the guy is good looking, or she wouldn't have been with him, but people were referring to him as a bum. This is a grown man who has nothing to show for himself, and here we have this lovely, pretty little girl, woman, but just putting into perspective, who took this guy in, and he has abused her, put his hands on her, okay, beat up her face, blood all over her body. And she posted, I guess, a tweet talking about how she's shocked that this guy that she took in put his hands on her. And then I came across a tweet where this guy put, well, from the first 4 lines of you describing how this guy didn't have, the guy wasn't supporting himself, he didn't have a job, he was using her car, all these sadly horrible things this guy was enduring in his own life and wasn't getting his act together. What a lot of the men that were commenting were saying some really good stuff, and then there's this one guy who put quote tweeted the tweet and put, based upon the 4 first lines that you put, the girl put in the tweet describing him and how she found him, he's saying, how did you not know? There was red flags everywhere. And so from this one post, it clicked in my head. Something that I've been seeing a lot of women go through, men as well, but a lot of women, talking about their own personal experience of whether a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever, loving somebody, a kindred spirit connection, a past life connection, whatever kind of connection, we see it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we see it not only in our personal life, but of course on good old social media, and something clicked to me when that guy said, how did she not know? There was red flag after red flag after red flag that herself put in the tweet. And it came to me. So I had a huge, invisible alarm go off. And, moments later I said, okay, I'm going to have to go on YouTube, and make a response video to what I just saw on social media and what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing from women who are sticking around because they want to make it work. Now, for all the men watching, you could benefit from this video, whether you're straight, whatever, whoever you are, wherever you come from, doesn't matter. you can benefit from this video, because there could be something in this video that I say that you're witnessing with your friends or people that are in your life, and you're not understanding why they keep falling for the same okie doke. And so in this video, I'm gonna help basically everybody, including myself, and we're gonna talk about why this happens, okay? Why people are not attracting the right people, manifesting the right relationship. I mean, this is retrograde season, so of course, exes, right? Exes crawl out of the the shadows. And I'm going to touch upon that as well, you know, because I'm young, but I just think that with not only what I do with YouTube on this channel, the spiritual channel, but life in general, you know, I've seen other people go through things, and I try to take the lesson from what people go through and then come on here like this video and talk to y'all, or just, you know, keep a mental jot in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because the best teacher is experience in life. But, you know, if we don't have to experience these horrible relationships and people, then we don't have to, you know. It's a choice. It's a vibration. It's actually a vibrational thing. And so in this video, I'm gonna actually break down how I figured out that this is actually why people that look good, or they sound good, or they appear like they have their life together, I'm gonna break down in this video why people get themselves and what they get themselves into. So this is a big one. This is the big one, okay? So let me begin with saying this, right? And this is not taking away from the fact that somebody put their hands on her. Okay, abuse is never allowed. But going back to the point of one of the men in the tweets talking about how, well, how come she didn't see it? I'll explain why. And before I get to that point, let me just say this for all the men watching. Women are known to stay too long. I know that the divorce statistics and all these statistics out here will say differently. I don't know where they get it from. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how accurate it is, but I will say this. Women, whether dating or whatever, have a bad habit of ignoring the obvious. And the reason why they ignore the obvious, okay, is because they believe, and this is the heart of it, and I'm just going to expose it once and for all, okay? They believe that they cannot get any better. That's the heart of it. Because especially as a woman, where you are the receiver, by biology, divinity, the way God made us, we are to carry the baby. We are to fix up the house. We were designed to be taken care of to an extent. Physically, we cannot work as hard as men. Physically. Mentally, we can hire people, we can fix up our schedules. But I'm saying, like, in terms of building a house from scratch, women, we're not designed to do that. And women who do that, they're an exception, okay? So that's like level 1, right? So now we're going to take it up a notch. So what I'm saying is, the trap that I see a lot of women get into, okay, is they don't believe, this is the truth, they don't believe that they will get anybody better. The way that man caressed them, touched them, kissed up on them, there was something, right? There was something that bad guy, that bad dude, or if you're same sex, that bad girl did to you, or to that person, for example, speaking in third person. And what has happened is they get caught up, okay? They get caught up and they believe the lie. Now, where does that lie come from? It could come from insecurities. What's really weird to me is a lot of women who are in or find themselves in unhappy relationships that then lead to abuse or neglect, or even worse, taking advantage of somebody. The common pattern that I see, and this may be very sensitive for some people to hear, but the common pattern that I see is that they're never happy with themselves. That's just the truth. There's something about themselves that they don't like. And whether it's put on display or it's in their body language or in how they speak to people, people around them can pick it up. And so if this woman, let's just give in this example, if this woman is going out looking for a partner, her vibrational field is full of, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, I just need anybody at this point. You know, it may not be in the makeup, it may not be in how she carries herself, but vibration, energy doesn't lie. I'll repeat that. Vibration and energy doesn't lie. So when you hear people say, now I get it now, when you hear people say, what made that person be attracted to you, that's where a lot of people say, hold up, pump the brakes. And they get offended. Why? Because they can't imagine that it's them. Whether the person's rich, poor, middle class, upper middle class, it doesn't matter. White, black, Chinese, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is where people tap out and say, okay, I'm offended because surely I didn't attract that. Surely that person must have got the wrong idea about me. Well, then I'll submit to you, why did that person be attracted to you? You know, do people ever ask themselves that? Like if they've had like a really, really bad relationship or a really, really bad connection, do people ever stop and ask themselves, what did that person see in me? And if you say, I'm fine, I'm perfect, I'm all good, okay, you're lying. And I'm gonna tell you why, for the record, once and for all, to help all of humanity. I'm gonna tell you why that's a lie. Because, like I said, it may not be in the makeup, it may not be in the way you look or you dress, but there's something deep within you that is tolerating and entertaining somebody who does not take care of you, who does not respect you, who does not show up for you. And that's the reality. So this is why a lot of young adults and adults who are living in the world are not having kids, are not getting married, are not having healthy relationships, are not having healthy sex lives. This is the reality. It's because they're jacked up, they're messed up, and they mask it. They mask it with a lifestyle. They mask it with good looks. A lot of times they work out. They have a perfect body, but they're drug addicts. They're drug addicts. I could speak from personal experience. I've you know, and you're like, this person's jacked up. They look good. On the outside, they look good. They smell good. But when they open their mouth, or when you see how they live their life every day and what they get up to, you're like, whoa, this person's broken. This person needs help. So the reason why that story about that lady who took in that guy who didn't have a car, didn't have anywhere to live, basically homeless, if that's basically what it sounds like to me. The guy turned around and abused her. And the reason why that was such a powerful example of our attraction, our vibration, is because there was something deep within her and within him that was not whole. They both were not whole. She was coming into the relationship as a fixer. She was coming to him as like a mother. And I know women will agree with me and say that as a woman, you don't want to have to be a mother to somebody you're attracted to, right? That's not why you're with a person. You're with a person to enjoy life, to build, to make memories, to establish a home, establish a family, somebody that will take care of you and you take care of them. It's a mutual thing. It's a mutual exchange of love and trust and fidelity. So what I will say with her situation is that, and this is very severe, but this is what I got from it, really. When I was looking at everything, I was like, okay, this is what I'm getting from the situation. If she, and this is hard to hear, but I'm gonna put this out here, okay? If she valued herself higher, she would have not even looked in his direction. Can we all agree on that? Like, a working woman with her own car, her own apartment, she's not ugly at all. She's not a size 0, okay? She's not a size, 10 maybe even, but size has nothing to do with it. This is what people get, this is how people get confused. Like, they think that because they don't fit the stereotypical beauty standard that they have to get treated less than. I'll repeat that. If you as a woman, you don't fit the narrative or the typical beauty standard, and you think that you deserve to get treated less, men can sniff that out of you. And I'm going to be honest. Men will come around you and they will smell that off of you. You don't have to say a word. They can look at how you carry yourself and they'll be like, oh yeah, she's insecure. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm telling you. So in her case, what happened was she did not value herself. Does that mean that she deserved the abuse? Absolutely not. What it means is that she miscalculated. She totally got it confused. She thought that she had to fix a man and train him like a puppy dog for him to love her, in order for him to be with her. And that's where her insecurity lies. That's where her true feelings about herself is showing. And it's harsh, it's bad, because if another woman looked at her and said, why did you even entertain him? You were doing miles better than him. You were working a good job, had money in the bank, and then you take up for some guy to turn around and steal from you, beat on you. Where does she go wrong? Well, I just told you. If she truly loved herself the way she's trying to put on a front and say she loves herself, she would have never looked his way. She would have waited, and she would have only entertained men who are on the same frequency, the same responsibility, the same kind of lifestyle. Like, and this is what I find in a lot of people, not just women, but people, is they think that their shit doesn't stink. They really do. They got good makeup, they got good cologne, a guy got a nice pair of sneakers. They act like nobody could see that they're broken. That they're broken. And this is why a lot of coaches or spiritualists or intuitives like myself, this is why people always say, you need to work on yourself. And I know us people don't like to hear that. Humans don't want to keep hearing that. Self-care, self-love. It's not phony. It's not fake. It's real life. And if you don't take care of yourself, and if you don't get your vibration sorted out, and if you don't get what's deep down, pushed down out of you and fixed and healed properly, you're going to keep attracting that. So let's say you're a woman or a man and there's a common theme. Let's say, for example, every guy that you're with cheats on you. Okay? Not your fault, but I'll explain why that keeps happening. It's in your vibration. I'll repeat that. It's in your vibration. There's something in your vibration that the pain, the hurt, the trauma, if in your body, your energy, your aura, your mechanism screams, I have gotten cheated on, Someone's going to get this. I have gotten cheated on. Every guy that I've been with has disrespected me. If that is in your energy, you don't have to say it. You don't have to reveal it. You're going to keep getting partners coming in your energy that are going to cheat on you. Because what's in your energy field? Everybody leaves me. Everybody cheats on me. No good guys exist. No good girls exist. That's what's in your energy. So every single time you're in a relationship, you're seeing this. Have you ever been in a relationship and the same things keep happening and you're like, why do I keep attracting the same person? If that's happening to you, you need to stop and ask yourself why. And I'm not saying this to embarrass anybody. I'm not saying this to talk down anybody, because let me tell you, experience, like I said, experience is the best teacher. So if you keep seeing a similar thing that you don't like in all of your partners, all of your friendships, you have to check what you're putting out. What is the signal that you're putting out? What is the vibration? Is the vibration that you're putting out in the world that I'm safe to love, I'm safe to trust, I exude confidence, I want a trustworthy partner, I want a loyal partner? Or is the energy that you are signaling out without your knowledge, people always hurt me, people always disrespect me, people don't care about me, people don't listen to me? This is the problem that people are having, that they can't figure out. Why is it that I keep having the same situation? Why, or why is it that this person comes one way and then you get in the relationship and they're like a monster, but you stay. So what that gentleman was saying that I like what he said was, there's red flags. There is red flags. And if you don't see those red flags, nobody's going to see it for you. Because I'll tell you this, a lot of times there'll be friends, there'll be family, there'll be coworkers who can smell the bullshit, who can see the trouble coming. And they'll say to you, don't be with that person, or don't take that job, or don't this, or don't, and they'll say things out of love. But if you're defensive, if you're not in receptive mode, if you're holding a guilty conscience and you know that what they're saying is true, but you don't want to believe it, what's going to happen now? You're going to push it back. You're going to reject it. So here's what happens. Everybody around you can see it, but you. This happens to a lot of women, where they will lose friends. And listen, men, they will lose friends, and they will let go of all their good girlfriends who they've had for years because of this one abusive man in their life. And this is why we see the horror on the television. This is why we see the horror, because the woman is lying to herself. It reminds me of a famous ex-royal couple, Meghan and Harry. Meghan and Harry, perfect example. Meghan ripped a book out of Diana's and ripped a book out of Catherine's and found strategies to get him alone, to love bomb him, to guilt trip him, and she got him. Meghan isolated Harry away from his family and contorted him and twisted his mind so that he thinks that everything pure that his family is telling him about her past, her history, her behavior, in his mind now is, they're attacking me. No, they're trying to protect you. They could see what you can't see. And this is what happens to men and women alike. They don't want to accept the truth. And so those kind of friends and people are dangerous, because they will always end up in a bad situation, because instead of hearing the harsh truth and reality, they want to live in denial. And when the shit hits the fan, who do they blame? Who do they say wasn't there for them? Their friends and family. The same people who warned them, they'll go back to and say, they're attacking me. They're isolating me. What did Harry say about now King Charles, once Prince Charles? What did Harry say about his father? He's not taking my calls because you weren't taking his calls, Harry. You weren't taking your father's calls. But now that you're in trouble and you're knee deep in shit, now you want your father to come rescue you and pay your way out. So you see how people are? So that's why I'm saying, if you have a friend in your life, or you have a person in your life, or you're witnessing a neighbor or something happening, and you're like, this is bad, you could see that this is not going to end well, and you try to warn them, or you try to speak some sense into their head, and they're not taking it in, leave them alone. Because just like Harry, they're going to turn back around and say, they abandoned me, they weren't there for me. But all the while they were, but you just cherry picked. What Harry did was cherry pick when he wanted his family to have a say so. When they were telling him the cold truth and the reality of the situation, he didn't want to hear it. How many women and men in your own life do you know like that, right? Or ex-friends like that, right? Where you told them, hey, don't do that. Don't think that. Don't. And they get offended. And in my own personal life, I figured out from like high school that there's no point in giving your girlfriends or your friends advice about their partners, even if they ask you. Unless it's a service, like a paid service, don't even bother. Because what's gonna happen is when the going gets tough, they're gonna blame you. They're gonna turn back around and look at you and say, why didn't you tell me this person was a cheater? Why did you tell me this person? But we did, though. We did. And that's what's gonna happen to Harry when Ish goes down with Meghan. Even worse, that's what's gonna happen with him. He's gonna turn back around and say, why didn't anybody help me? Why didn't anybody see the signs? Why didn't anybody? We did, but you did not want to take heed, and you thought that you were so big and bad and tough, and everything was all plush and goody two shoes over there, that you just got yourself in a mess you couldn't get out of. And when it's too late, what you gonna do? Blame the whole world? Blame the queen, God rest her soul, for letting you marry her? Whose fault is it, Harry? It's your fault. It's your fault. So just like Harry, take it from Meghan and Harry's situation. Classic narcissist, classic love bombing. That's what they do best. And the sad and the really sad reality, you all, is that it's not ugly people. If I could say so myself, okay, I'm sorry, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's not ugly people who are gonna be narcissists and liars to you. It's gonna be it could it could be anybody, The sad thing is, people think it's just the ones who are unattractive. But that's not the case. It's the ones who are attractive, that you do like, that you do want to have sex with. And they're the ones who be wolves in sheep clothing. And you're like, what the hell? What did I get myself into? And so I like what that man said on Twitter. Is like, the signs are there. The signs are always there, but there's something within you. And every human being has to take responsibility. We all got to take responsibility for why we're not in a happy relationships, or why we're not married, or whatever. Like, take responsibility, yo. Your target and where and why you're with somebody. If you're with somebody to use them, it's going to end badly for you. I could say so many stories, but I'll just put it that way. Okay, if you're with somebody to use them, whether it's for sex or for money, and there's nothing genuine about it, it will end bad every time. And that's just, unless there's an agreement and you guys are keeping emotions out of it, it's going to end badly. It's going to end, I'm telling you. So this is what people are missing. They're living their life on autopilot. right? They're out here in the world attracting the wrong people, attractive people, but the wrong people. And they're totally oblivious. They're totally blind to the reality of why the person can look good, but they can't treat them good, right? Have you experienced that where you're attracting people who look good, but they don't treat you good? They have no manners. They have no sympathy. They have no care for you. They don't really check up on you, you know? And the reason why is because you're settling. You're settling. There's some area that you're settling with. And so when you're unhappy or when you get unhappy, you have to vocalize that. That's another part of it now, you know? You got to give the person a chance to change if you feel led to. But once it becomes a thing where it's just a revolving, I like to call it the revolving swinging door. You know, they're hot one minute, cold the next, you know. Trouble. When you see that keep happening in your life, you got to pump the brakes, okay? And, you know, you don't have to be hard on yourself, but you have to ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? You know, what are you doing wrong? So a lot of times it's attractive people, you know what I'm saying? Like, people get it confused. It's really nothing to do with weight, status, none of that. It's just, what do you believe for yourself? Okay, that's what it comes down to. What do you believe you should deserve? You know, we accept the love we think we deserve. So if you think you deserve a cheater, you're going to get a cheater. If you think you deserve a narcissist, you're going to get a narcissist. If you think that you deserve somebody to take money from you, that's what you're putting up with. So that's what you will keep attracting until you break the cycle and you break the chains and you break the psychological warfare on yourself and the sleep state that you're in, and you're not aware of what's happening. You're just making it happen. You're not breaking up the energy. You know, you're gonna keep seeing it in different people. You're gonna keep seeing something. So the opposite is also true, right? The opposite is also true. If you've had great relationships, okay, like myself, right? We've all had bad ones, but I'm saying, like, you know, you typically you don't have these horrible relationships where, you know, things are just drastically wrong, okay? It's the same is true. There is something within you that you believe deserves that. So when you're with a person, they hold the door open for you. They buy things for you if that's what you want, okay, whatever. They say good night, good morning. They have manners, you know. They care about your feelings. If you are, or whether it's long or short, if you're with somebody intimately on a consistent basis, okay, there's a history, the track record that every person you've been with is genuinely a nice person, that's a reflection of you. You getting it now? That's a reflection of you. You're nice. They're nice. You're giving. They're giving. Right? You take care of your mental health. They take care of their mental health. So it's a match. It's a match. So that's why when people say, well, how do I attract that? You know, if they attract somebody who's just off their rocker, you have to ask yourself, what in you attracted that person? You have to ask yourself that. Why would a drug addict, why would an abuser, why would a liar be attracted to you? You have to ask yourself that if the situation you're in, okay? And you have to be honest. Are you a liar? Are you also a thief? Are you a narcissist? Are you bitter? That's why when it comes to Harry and Meghan, a perfect example again, they're bitter. They're bitter. Harry and Meghan are bitter people. They both have family issues. Look at the facts. They both have issues with their family. They both have not forgiven their family. So they walk around with this tough exterior, this I'm, big and bad exterior. And this is why they're having so many problems, because they're not pure-hearted. That's what it is. Their heart is rotten. Their heart is cold. Their heart is damaged. So everybody around them their workers, royal staff, the media attack them. Why? Because they attack them. They attacked them. Remember when, perfect example, remember when Harry was first dating Meghan and the first thing he put out in the media was a long letter about how don't mess with her and blah, blah, blah. And Prince William, now Prince of Wales, thank God, behind the scenes was saying to Harry that that was not called for. That was a wrong move. That was a bad decision. And look at how he's been right every single time. Look at the history. Look at the repeated patterns that Harry has put himself in. Constantly going to the media, constantly arguing with people. So look at the behavior of a person. Don't look at their good looks. Don't look at what they say. Look at their actions. Look at their actions. And if you cannot trust a person, do not be with them. If you would not trust that person with your bank account, your life, your kids, your pets, your family, your house, your car, if you are with somebody and you cannot trust them in any severe aspect, you should not be with them. And this is something that people do not take into account. The person got a pretty face, the person got a nice ass, the person got a handsome face, the person is tall, they're blinded. That is what happens to people. They get blinded, and they think that their shit doesn't stink. That's what it is. And then what they do is hold on to a pipe dream. What happens is they hold on to a pipe dream and they psych themselves up. You ever seen somebody do this? They psych themselves up and they try to convince themselves that, oh yeah, this person's gonna change. Oh yeah, this person still loves me. Oh yeah. Because they know that they're lying to themselves. They're in complete denial. Complete denial. So it's you have more strength and courage with letting the person go and having respect for yourself than letting somebody hang around your energy field. Because like I said, if you're going back out in the world or whatever you do and you're asking God, the universe, you're saying, God and the universe saying, I want this, I want that. But you're getting a copycat. You're not getting what you really feel you should be getting. Why? Because there's some aspect and there's something within you that is lying. There's something that you're lying about. I'm telling you. So if you are I want to say you're a bona fide manifester, right? Let's say you're a bona fide manifester. You're a bona fide manifester. You know you can manifest anything. But every time you're doing it in some area of your life, there's hiccups. Okay? Chances are, we're talking about a job, chances are you're not being specific enough. There's some kind of sly energy where someone's trying to use you or you're trying to use them. And so therefore it doesn't work out. That's what happens. Now with love, like I said, you have to look at yourself first. So if there's something about yourself that you don't like and then you keep attracting it in other people, that's the time to stop. Okay? That is the time to say, you know what? As good looking as I am, as hot as I am, whatever, this is not going the way I thought. This is not making me happy. This is making me drained and sad and tired. And, if you're constantly feeling lethargic and sad in whatever you're so-called manifesting or you're creating or you're a part of, something is wrong. So it's a common telltale sign, okay? I'm going to end soon. Okay, gotta rest. If you're always feeling drained, if you're always feeling like it's not what you had in mind, okay, that means that you're manifesting incorrectly. There's something gunky and stinky in your vibration that you need to clear out. On a physical level, you could do a spiritual bath. Maybe even environmentally, you have to clean your surroundings. or, you know, you got to change your diet, you got to change your thought patterns, you got to change what you believe, your beliefs about yourself, about life. You know, the other day I tweeted and I said, you know, either you believe that God is for you and God is protecting you, or you don't. You know, there's really no in between. It's either you believe that life is for you and life wants to make you happy and life wants to support you, or you think that everybody's out to get you. You know, you feel like everybody that you involve with is gonna backstab you. Which one do you believe? And what you at your core believe is gonna manifest and show up in your life. I'll repeat that. What you believe at your core is going to manifest and show up in your life. So if you believe, so I'll give you even a deeper example. Let's say somebody works 9 to 5. They also have other jobs. Or let's say somebody is a self-made entrepreneur, right? They work. They make all this money. But in their core, they don't believe, get ready for this, but in their core, they don't believe that they deserve the money. Know somebody like that? So what do? They squander it. They gamble. They buy a bunch of useless stuff. They're always broke. They never pay their bills on time. But they make money, right? The person makes a lot of money, or makes enough, you know, more than enough money where they have leftover. But they're always in a bind. They're always financially castrated. And that's because their core belief is, I don't deserve the money, right? So it will show in their energy. It will show in their behavior. You're getting it? So their subconscious and conscious behavior is going to be geared towards, I don't deserve the money. So what do? They sabotage. They find ways to get rid of their money without the money paying them and multiplying for them. They're busy wasting their money on purpose on things that are never going to return back to them, that are going to deteriorate, that are going to be worthless, because their core belief is, I don't deserve it. Now, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell their spouse that. They're not going to tell you that. But it's in their behavior. It's in how their mind works. So that's also dangerous, okay? Is a person who wants to attain all this success, all this money, all this fame, but can't hold on to it for their life. They have nothing to show, right? They don't have any savings. They don't have any car. They don't have they don't have their own property. They don't have a secure place to live, or they don't have proper clothes or shoes. They're wearing horrible things, but they make money. So it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. So once people get their mind right, they get their behavior right, they get their energy right, life will change. Life will go the way they want it to go. But it sadly, from my own experience and my own spiritual journey and how I've come this far, it starts with you. And it's sad to say, because I know a lot of humans don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that, more work, What the first thing people think is, more work, just what I needed. But if you don't get yourself together, okay, if you don't get yourself right, you're going to mess up your life. And that is what's happening to people, is they are attracting the wrong things. They are manifesting the wrong things. And until they stop and realize that there's something that they are doing wrong, and they admit to it, and they change it, and they transform, it's going to repeat. And that's how the energy cycle works. Maybe it has something deeper to do with incarnation or reincarnation, just a little thought, but that's kind of the gist of it, is what do you believe for yourself? Like, do you believe that, you know, what do you believe? You know, and from there, you can make your requests. So if you believe that you can only make money by working yourself into a grave, then that's a life you'll live, you know. But if you believe that, okay, I can have multiple streams of income. Okay, I can work a job that's not always stressful. Okay, I could work a job that actually respects me, or people that are in the job or in the job that respect me. Or do you believe that every job you take is abusive, has to be hard, has to be soul crushing? You get it? What do you believe? Because there is people out here who are working jobs or working for themselves, and they're not soul crushing at all. They're not complaining at all. They're not unhappy at all. So we have to kind of take back our power and begin to ask ourselves, well, how come that person can have it all, right? So why can't I? When I started my channel, and when I started just get better as a person, I it started from me saying, well, if that person can, then so can I. It didn't come from a place of jealousy or negativity. It came from a place, okay, if this person can change their life, then I could change my life. But that came from a single thought. See, that's why thoughts are so powerful. Because if I didn't believe what I thought, if I didn't believe what I thinked in my mind, that would have never came into being. So when they say that thoughts create your reality, it goes way deeper than that. But that is a gist. I mean, I get why they say that, but I mean, I wouldn't say that everything you think is going to be in your face, manifested. But what they're basically saying is like, yeah, like everything that you are believing in your mind that is coming to your mind, that is like a wave, you can either take it in or you can cast it out. You can reject, you can push aside, you can ignore. But you have to be careful of what voices, what thoughts you are listening to. So, especially with relationships, if you're looking for someone or you're wanting to attract someone, which is better language, you're gonna have to think differently. You're gonna have to begin to look at the patterns. So let's look at the positive side, right? If you have had great relationships like myself, you know, not everyone's perfect, but like for the most part, you've met some incredible people, you've had some great times, then you're on the right track. That means that there's something that you're doing right, okay? But if you're on the flip side where every relationship or almost every person you're coming in contact with is a blunder, is a oopsie, is then that means there's something wrong. And you have to get to the root of it and figure out, okay, why is it that I can't seem to find a good person? And then I would have to ask myself, am I a good person? Am I an honest person? Maybe the reason why some people can't find a good person is because they're not good people. They're not good people. So they're attracting people just like themselves. They're attracting people in their life just like themselves. But because their ego or they're blinded or they're not aware and they've been living on autopilot and they're not really conscious of themselves, so once maybe nobody's really told them about their behavior, they go around like it's okay. They live life like it's okay. So what you settle for is what you accept. You know, what you settle for is what you accept. So never forget that, okay? Whether it's work, friends, whatever. What you settle for is what you accept. That's just basically how it goes. If you want more, you'll be more, for yourself. If you want to attract a higher quality of people, then you have to be high quality as well. Like, it's kind of common sense. You can't expect to be a low quality, trashy kind of person and then have this amazing superstar. I mean, it's kind of funny, but people do it every day. They want creme de la creme of everything in life, but their attitude sucks. They never work on themselves. They don't put no particular effort in themselves, but they want everybody and everything in life to just come to them. But they're not worthy of it. That's the truth. The person's not worthy of it. So until you're worthy of that, you're not going to get that. That's how it is. If you're worthy of something, you're going to get it. If you are a vibrational match to something. So let's say, for example, you're a good person, right? You're saying, Simone, I'm a good person. I'm a good person, Simone. I'm a good person, but my ex was a bad person. Okay, so you miscalculated. That's okay. That's normal. All you did was maybe the person was hiding who they were, right? But next time, check in with your intuition. Because I can guarantee that something was off about the person. Something made you question the person. Maybe you didn't really have a real explanation or basis, but something said to you, check their social media, check their phone, ask around about them. Something made you question, right? So I would say if that's you in that situation where like you're a good person, but like maybe you're just attracted to people, okay, then you gotta go back to the drawing board, honey, and you gotta figure out how you can spot certain traits in people. You have to do a little bit more research, okay? Like, you gotta ask certain questions to see, okay, why is it that this person can never give me a straight answer? I saw this other tweet that was saying, why do men not know? Why do men always say I don't know? Well, that's because you allow that. You see, I don't allow that. Okay, if I want to answer from especially from a man that I'm with or I'm dating, I'm just gonna ask. I'm not gonna take a blase I don't know or IDK for an answer. But see, this is the bullshit that people are putting up with. So it keeps happening. And this is why some men that are not good people are laughing and are, making fun, because they're like, you guys put up, you guys accept it, so we're going to keep doing it. That's kind of what's happening, And then when the women don't put up with it, this is why we're seeing the world we're living in right now. People lonely, because you see, they have a standard. So a woman that has a standard and somebody can't meet that standard, well, that's just the price you pay for self-respect. So if you're also in that boat and you're saying, well, Simone, I deserve more, I want more, but I'm not getting more. The people that I see or whatever are not it. Well, I would submit to you to open your mind, because maybe you're thinking too specific. Maybe you're thinking just to your city, just to your state. There is somebody out there for you. What I've always believed is that there's always somebody for everybody. There is somebody for everybody. I do believe that. There's millions and billions of people on this planet. There's got to be at least one person that is a good match for you. So don't think so low of your environment or whatever you're in. Like, don't think like that, because you never know. Like, somebody could fly in, somebody could be visiting your town. You don't even know how you'll meet the one, but what you have to hold on to is that you will meet the one. But you got to change, once again, your mind. So sometimes people they think too narrow. They think too small. They think that, everything is just within their radius, within their city, within their town. You got to think bigger. You got to think bigger than that if you want to attract that. It will happen for you, but you just have to believe that it will. If it's happened to somebody else, it can happen to you. But the second that you try to convince yourself that it's not going to happen and it's not possible and I don't see it, well, what is faith about? Faith is about believing in something with the evidence not seen. Faith is all about, I'm going to keep putting in the work. I'm going to keep making progress. I'm going to keep pressing forward even if I cannot see it. That's what faith is all about. So that's a personal thing, but that's the gist of it. Like, for example, why do you think that there's certain people who are not good people, but they attract good people and the good people stay? Because they that's what they believe. They believe that they deserve somebody good. Think about it. Okay, even narcissists, they believe they deserve that, so that's what they get. Now, if that narcissist didn't believe that they would get a good person like that, then they wouldn't. So you have to think about it on a bigger scale. If you're having that issue where you're thinking very small, you have to think bigger and say, okay, well, I may not see it now, I may not feel it now, I may not be aware of it now, but it's somewhere. It's somewhere. You get your vibration in a state, in a point where it's right, you feel good, and it will come in, I'm telling you. But that's the hardest part, is you have to get your vibration right. You have to get the frequency right. Like, okay, I'll give an example. In my own life, if I've tried to manifest a relationship, which, or anything like that, a common trend that I will see in my own love life is it's a certain energy. Like I've looked back, I'm like, okay, it's like a love vibration. Like I've realized like there's like a certain kind of frequency that I'm in to attract like, a loving partner. So that's the hardest part is like you have to just get it in your head, get it in your energy, and it has to stick. It can't be something you switch on and off. Like it has to just be within you. Like, and if it's not in you, in your heart, in your mind, then it's not going to be evident. So if all your vibration is full of is doubt and anxiety and worry, and like some people I will see on social media, they'll put, oh, I'm afraid of this, or I'm afraid of that, or I don't want that to happen to me. Why are you even speaking like that? You see how negative it comes across. Why are you even speaking like that? Oh, I don't want that to happen to me. So you're putting yourself in a vibrational match to foolery. You see how they just put themselves in that situation without even putting themselves in a situation, because they're already on the same energy. So what you have to do, what people have to do is separate. Like they have to get away from that kind of thinking, that kind of energy, and only associate with the energy that they want. And that's what I realized. It's like, okay, you can't afford to be negative. I'm not saying I was always the most positive person, especially not with the pandemic. I've found myself a lot of times feeling very negative about the world. I'm just going to tell you guys straight up. But the more time is going along and like the more things keep happening, I'm like, bro, like I can't afford to be negative. I saw somebody, I think it was Twitter again, that somebody put something brilliant, like you can't afford to be negative, because one day that negativity could take you out. That negativity could really mess up your life, because that's what you're buying into. And that stuck with me. Like, you know what? That's true. That's true. So when bad things happen or when there's stumbling blocks or hiccups, don't dwell on it for too long. If you're sad, you're crying, you're upset, you're tired, you're exhausted. I mean, I experienced that recently. Okay, that's normal. Rest, relax, defungal your brain out, like you know, unfumble the cobwebs and the confusion and the knots in your brain, you know, relax. But absolutely, you know, sometimes we just cannot even afford to be negative. And that's just kind of like what I feel. Going into next year, 2023, whenever you watch this video, maybe it's 2025 for you, whatever, whenever, we can't afford to be negative, y'all. We can't even afford to be negative. Because like that guy said, you may get so deep in the trenches of negativity that it may take you out of here. You know what I'm saying? It may. Sorry. I had family over. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not always going to have an easy week. You're not always going to have the best week. But what I know for sure and what I've learned is like we cannot afford to let negativity get and stick to us.